Fresh from banishing another Faithful, things weren't looking good for the Faithfuls, but their luck was about to change in an unexpected way. Kitten Caboodle was the latest Faithful to be murdered. We saw so little of Kitten outside the initial parts of episode 1, someone who didn't stand out in terms of causing suspicions or discussing who they suspected. The traitors wanted to cause chaos, and Kitten was their chosen person. I just didn't think it was going to cause the chaos that the traitors intended. I firmly put my hands up and say that sometimes I did forget Kitten was even in the game. The first time Kitten was out of drag, I said to myself, who's that? This is coming from someone that watched Kitten's season of Canada's Drag Race. I felt so bad, but production didn't help with the edit because outside of showing Kitten's vote and the missions, there just wasn't a lot there. Did production do Kitten dirty? I found it so funny that Meredith mentioned that Shaughnessy's reaction coming into breakfast seemed fake, as I thought if I was in the breakfast room and witnessed it, I would think it's fake too. In fact, my first reaction was that Shaughnessy was a little over the top with it. Shaughnessy wasn't the only player under scrutiny for their reactions at breakfast. Venus was another player whose name came up. Sarah Nicole seemed to be telling anyone who would listen about Venus's reaction, which included Coco and Kevin. Though when it came to actually talking to Kevin and Venus together, Sarah Nicole said she didn't get a traitor vibe off them. Do with that as you will. Sarah Nicole was observant about another thing, noticing the paintings in the hallway were related to missions, and boy was she right about the chess painting, as we saw Karine sitting on a very high throne as the players walked outside towards a giant chessboard. The players were split into two teams, with the teams decided by the traitors. Those in white scarves were deemed clearly faithful, while those in black scarves were the ones that had the potential to be traitors. Kevin and Venus put themselves in the black team while Coco was in the white one. As there was an odd number, Shaughnessy wasn't assigned to a team. This changed when Jericho was feeling dizzy and had to swap with Shaughnessy. The disappointment for me was having a chessboard without seeing the giant moving traitor like we've seen in editions like UK Season 3, US Season 3 and Celebrity UK. I don't know why I like seeing that giant traitor so much, but I do. One by one each team needed to correctly guess if the statement from the picked player from the opposite team was true or false. Flags were burnt depending on who guessed correctly or incorrectly. With the black team eliminating all of the white team, it meant the black team won. Cara, Meredith and Omar were the last ones remaining from the black team, so they won a shield. Coco's name was floating about and Kevin took it as an opportunity to put his plan into action, and boy was that round table something. The traitors got chaos, but it wasn't from the murder, instead it was from Kevin himself. The way Kevin approached the round table discussions was a little frantic. Like Meredith said, he sounded a little like a traitor unhinged. I don't know why Kevin was acting like he was in a hurry. Kevin's behaviour with Hollywood and Jericho before the round table was brought up, and I was left wondering why Kevin thought this whole approach was going to be the best way to get Coco out. Venus had previously been telling Kevin it's too soon to throw Coco under the bus, but he went for it anyway. With all the names flying about, Charla must have been breathing a sigh of relief. They were heavily suspected from day one, but wasn't one of the names mentioned. Though Lizette didn't pay any attention to anything that went on at the round table and once again voted for Charla. It seems we've moved on from the Lizette versus Meredith battle to Charla versus Lizette, as Charla returned the favour by voting for Lizette. Back to the possible overacting, and Rhea's name entered the conversation. It came up because someone mentioned Rhea's acting experience, if you want to call it that.
My Legally Blonde musical, where I was a supporting actress and got a horrible review in the Ottawa Citizen. If I was acting, I probably would have done a lot better in the challenge today when I was aching for a shield.
Rhea and Thompson gave each other the gift of a vote. How considerate of both pairs to do so. Kevin's plan to control the game and cause chaos worked as the Faithfuls banished their first traitor and added an extra $10,000 to the prize pot. Yes, Kevin's grand plan worked, but just not with the outcome he intended, as he was actually voted out with 6 votes. His intended target, Coco, only received 3. Kevin thought he had the numbers for this, but his behaviour made those players vote for him or someone else instead. Kevin's hamstrings were in spasm at the point he needed to get up to reveal his role. Such an unfortunate and awkward moment for him. I've seen players tanking their own game, but this has to be one of the biggest ways a traitor has done it. I can think of multiple times a traitor has done something that tanks their game, and the one that comes to mind first was also a Big Brother alumni, Dan in US Season 2. Dan had the similar plan to get a traitor out, though Dan was in a more desperate situation to try and save himself, plus he was against Phaedra. Kevin wasn't on the chopping block yet. People were talking about Rhea and Shaughnessy. I feel confident enough to say that I think either one of them or another Faithful was going to be banished if it wasn't for Kevin's interference. Kevin's attempt was misguided and poorly executed. If Kevin had worked on the plan for a little longer, then maybe he might have been successful, but his eagerness to banish Coco backfired immensely.
Cheers to $10,000, to getting a traitor out, and being better than Season 2.
Yes!
Like Hollywood said, the Season 3 Faithfuls have already done better than the Season 2 Faithfuls. Lights flickering, door being banged, and people with masks rounding up the Faithful. Was this a scary movie or something? All the players were taken to the cemetery and blindfolded. Kareen's words after Kevin's banishment became a reality. Coco and Venus were to pick one Faithful, whether that was to become a traitor or to be murdered was the question. Anyone that took their blindfold off at any point would be instantly murdered. One by one the traitors signalled the Faithfuls that they didn't want to choose, while not making a sound. There was a lot of pointing and head shaking as communication. Coco and Venus eventually chose Thompson. I'm not sure about that pick if the traitors want Thompson to join them. He seems like an intelligent guy and I wouldn't be surprised if he's been holding back. The one thing that sticks out to me about Thompson was his thing with Kevin. Thompson at the first breakfast said he trusted Kevin and wanted to go deep in the game with him. So why did we get a clip of Thompson in post-banishment talking about Kevin being a traitor, either talking to other players or in his commentary? We only got something with and about Rhea. Was it Thompson not bothering to talk about one of the people he trusted in there, or production's choice not to include anything? Even if, like Omar, Thompson suspected Kevin but wanted a traitor angel, I still feel like that's something that should come up. If Thompson was playing it like Omar, then we're being shown a passive version of Thompson. The traitors should proceed with caution. I always think the traitors should murder and not recruit straight after a banished traitor, but will Coco and Venus pick Thompson to be a traitor, or have we seen the last of him in the game? We will find out in episode 5.